Hello! Today we're looking at a drone from HolyStone. It's the HS700E, which they've described as kind of their flagship drone. Now, one thing to get out of the way, I looked previously at the HS175D. I hated it. It didn't work very well. It didn't work at all with my phone. It would disconnect the controller. That was awful. However, clean slate. We'll be looking at this as if we haven't looked at the horrible saga that was the HS175D. Let's see what this is all about. First up, let's get it out of the box. Okay, so you basically get a largish bag inside the box, which looks like this. Oh, mysterious foam. Underneath that is the drone itself. I would call this a kind of phantom style drone. I think that's fair. It's kind of the size and shape of the phantom style drone, but let's get it out. And it looks like this. Now, unlike the Falcon, this is not a gimbal. This is a fixed camera, although you can adjust it up to, I think, 90 degrees up and down. It's got these little sort of rubber grommet type things here to try and absorb some vibration there. We've got interesting bits here. It looks like some sort of weird snap-on prop thing. And as per normal, you've got battery insert here by the looks of it. You've got some sensors here. I think you've got some optical flow sensors and things, so it should hopefully hold position even when it's not got a satellite lock. Elsewhere in the box, this is the radio. It's a radio where I can't figure out how to get the antennas out as such right now, but I'll look in a manual about that. I'm glad to see it different from the previous radio, which obviously didn't work for me. Hopefully this is going to be different and work. We'll have a look at that in more detail in a sec. In these seem to be two batteries. I'm still a bit wound up by the fact they say 2 batteries to prolong your flights to 46 minutes. Just say 23 minutes of battery. These are 28 mAh 2S batteries, still on 2S for a reasonably large quad, but quite light, so I guess we'll be okay though. In this bag we have several USB cables. I'm guessing that's for charging the batteries, charging the controller. Let's have a look in the zippy section here. These look like props, quite flexible. These look like, I guess it's a 7-inch prop, and it's got this little sort of turn one way to insert it, turn the other way to remove it. Oh, I see, there's little holes in here that line up. I will give you a close-up of this one, but essentially there's a spring and that's it locked in, and then that's nice secure. You press down, twist out again. That's quite good. We also have a second set of props, always handy, and I'm guessing in here are the instructions in many languages. They are indeed. I will look through these and I'll go through a little couple of things in close-up to see what we have to do, and then we'll hopefully go and fly this thing, see how it goes. Okay, let's have a bit more of a closer look. And I mentioned these props before. If we have a zoom in, what we basically have here is you push down, you twist it to unlock, and it pops up. And you can see you've got this little, I don't want to focus on that, you've got these little bits here which slot into here and simply rotate around, which is pretty handy because that's not going to go in the case with the props on. So you've got a nice easy way of getting the props on and off quickly. As I mentioned before, this is the camera, and it's mounted, as you can see, on these little rubber grommets here to absorb that vibration, and this should be able to move up and down, but it's not a gimbal, it's literally just a camera that can move. SD card slot there, as mentioned before, and there's a bit of a guess. Yep, that is an optical flow sensor. I think that's lighting, it doesn't actually mention it. And at the back here is where the battery goes. Battery looks like this, and you'll notice it's got its own USB-C port, and this is what these two cables are for. Just plug them into a USB output that can supply 2 amps and you're good to go. And you can see this just slots in like so, and you've got the normal touch it to get the supply, hold it down, and it'll power the drone on. Hold it back in to power it back off. As far as the radio goes, a little few surprises. I finally managed to get these things apart. These are obviously your antennas, and if you fold these things out here, that's basically just your way of holding the radio. On the back you've got a battery compartment. Surprisingly, it takes 2 AA batteries instead of having a rechargeable pack there, and you'll notice there's a little notch here. If we pull this out, this is a phone holder, so you can put your phone in there, and you can also as it comes out all the way. Give it a bit of an angle. A bit clunky, but it seems to work. What you've then got then is the on button here. You've got obviously distance, height, you've got the 2 batteries, your GPS or not GPS. If you don't want GPS, turn that off. And it just says GPS off. You've got obviously the sticks here. This locks or unlocks the props, auto takeoff, return to home. You've got this one which simultaneously turns the light on as a short press. If you hold it down, it changes from low to high. These are the rates. And this one is your camera button. This slider changes the angle of the camera, and this slider, which I thought, it's knackered because I can barely move it, doesn't seem to be documented. I think it's just there for show, it's not used for anything. But yeah, I mean, that's the base of it. There is a new app for it, and it's called Ophelia Go. So yeah, essentially at this point I'm going to get the batteries charged up, see what we need to do to get this thing flying, and then try it out.
Plug the batteries in via USB-C and you'll see a quite familiar charging light. Basically, as it continues, the lights go solid and it carries on flashing until they're done.
And when they finish, which takes about 5 hours, it says in the book, and I've no reason to disbelieve that, they light up and stop flashing. Okay, well, we're in the field ready to fly. We've got about 10 or 12 mile an hour wind. This is only on like a little tour, so I was a little bit worried about that. It's weighty, but I tested this in the garden and it seemed to float around a bit in quite light winds, so I'm a little bit worried there where this is more gusty, but we'll give it a try. We'll see what happens. We'll try the basic mode, see if we can fly it around, see what the FPV pitch is like, and then we'll try some of the more exotic things like follow me. Let's hope we get that far this time. Let's check it out and see.
Now, normally when I do this sort of review, I'll have a screen recording of exactly what was on my phone showing you what you see. Unfortunately, on that day, I seem to be having problems with my phone where it said it was full, even though I had 40 gig left. And basically, I lost a whole bunch of recordings. Literally, I did a whole battery, pressed stop, and it said, cannot save screen recording. But where I've got them, I'll show them.
Okay, well, I've gone ahead and I've synced up here. We are reading 14 satellites. We've got a FPV view and we are recording, and let's try taking off. It's already much better than the last HolyStone drone I tried. There it is, and it seems to be holding position quite nicely, so that's good. So let's take it for a basic fly around to start with, see how it looks. And I'm just pretty much doing this visually, line of sight. It's pretty easy to fly. The wind's just dropped off a bit, which is really handy. It holds its altitude nicely, that's good. And this has got no gimbal, but the electronic stabilisation's not bad. If you just look at it going forward smoothly, it's pretty good. When you go into a corner, you certainly do notice it a little bit worse. Now, one of the things this can do is move its camera all the way down. So let's see if I go over here. I just want to see if I can get myself in shot. So if I look all the way down, let's try and get over myself here. That's me. Yeah, that's quite a good overhead shot. We can then go upwards. And that happens. So let's move our whoop. Well, that wasn't good. The app just crashed. Go back and find it. The app crashing in the middle of you doing something is a bit worrying. Yeah. But it seems to have recovered okay. That's really weird. I don't know if I trust the home position now though. Bring it down a bit so we know what we're doing. I think I generally prefer it if the app just didn't crash out on itself like that. That's a bit of a worry. So what I want to do is test return to home. So let's just, I'm not going to go far, let's just pop it over here. I'll go this way so we can see it. We're out of the direct sun. Now we are about 30 meters away. So let's press the home button here. Hope you can see that. And it's not telling me anything on the screen. Do I have to hold it in? Okay, so it's going up. It's coming this way. How accurate is it going to be? So it's at a height of 15 meters, descending now. Looks like it's going to hit my stuff, which is not ideal. I'll actually bring it out of it. I think it's just about going to miss my stuff and land about... Yeah, if we look at that, that's about 6 feet away. That's not too bad. I can live with that one. Okay, so good so far. Let's get it back in the air. So let's have a quick test of how the range looks. I've suddenly got almost 0 stick, doesn't want to do much. It says it's sport high speed. So I'm going to have a look through the FPV view now, see how we look. And if you can see this. But yeah, flying in a straight line, the electronic image stabilisation I think does a reasonably good job. I think it's when you go into turns and stuff, you do notice it's not so hot. Also when I get like a couple of 100 meters away just to see how it looks. So we're going to this next field here. It says the range of this is about 500 meters. It is a little speck at the moment over there. And we're actually keeping it reasonably low here. And yeah, it's starting to lose that a little bit. How is the... doesn't really give much of an indication of how good the battery is. But let's have a look. A little bit further, see how it feels. Get a bit of height so we know what we're doing. Oh, we just got a message up there. What's it saying? The maximum flight height has been reached and can be adjusted. I must be in beginner mode still. That's weird. Anyway, that's 300 meters. I think that's pretty good. Let's come on back there. It's a little bit... You can certainly see there's a lag there. I think we've locked up a little bit there on the screen. Let's try moving it forwards. No, we have now got not connected. So I can still read it here. It's saying we're still 309 meters away. I'm absolutely flying it blind. I suppose I should just put it in return to home, really. Let's do that. Okay, I can see the countdown here looking good. Got no connection here. The question is, once it goes off like that, Does it recover when it gets into range, or do we have to go back and get the Wi-Fi network again? Tells me it's 100 meters away. Oh, it's over there. Jesus, where were you? Where were you gone? Oh, it's recovered back here now. That's not so bad. So let's let this come down and we'll have a quick look at the some of the other settings to see what it might have changed. Take it out of return home because it's looking a bit like it might land on my my other quad there. Yeah, land please.
When I landed, I went into the settings of the app and checked I wasn't in beginner mode. This is what beginner mode looks like. You'll see the max distance, max altitude is 15 meters. I'd actually taken it out of beginner mode, but what had happened is the max altitude was left at the default of 15 meters, so I couldn't go any higher. So what I did is I just increased that up to 120 meters. I noticed as well it has the RTH altitude here as well, which would have been quite useful to check from that last RTH we did.
It flies, it gets about, I think keep it within like 200 meters is better. So what is the situation with these slightly more exotic modes it's got, which is always fun to test on these things. So, follow me. Oh yeah, haven't started. Once follow me, the drone's camera lens will keep pointing at the mobile phone and always stay at a relative distance. Okay, let's do it. Not enough difference. Is it saying I'm too far away or too close? I'm a bit confused. Well, I don't know what happened there. Let's try it again. Follow me. Not enough distance or too far from yourself. Well, which is it? Am I not enough distance or am I too far? Let's go further out. It's be useful if it knew. Okay, this time it seems to suggest it's doing it, so I'm going to walk. Come on, let's see if you can follow me. Oh, it's doing something. Oh, it's running at me. You can't catch me, I tell you. Hey, we got one that works. This is weird. Not used to this at all. I suppose quite how smooth this is another question. Getting a bit close. Go away. I'm running. I think I've managed to escape it. No, here it is. Well, this obviously uses the GPS of the phone rather than doing it optically, which seems to work pretty well actually. So I haven't got any complaints there, apart from the fact I'm now tired from running. Right, so let's stop following me. That's cool. So, orbit flight. The drone will rotate clockwise. Brilliant. So, if I swipe, it's going to do an orbit. Oh, I see. That's not bad. What you need to do with this, let me just take it out of orbit, is you need to get yourself, if you want to be the position, you need to pop yourself about 10 meters away, like this. Then we're going to go into orbit. I'm afraid my iPhone says its storage is full, which is a lie, and it's stopping recording. So hopefully you can see this. maybe about 5 meters from yourself. Oh, that's too much. Doesn't do a bad job. And you can set how big you want the orbit from the settings. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad. Let's stop that. And then in that we've got headless mode. The idea of headless mode is no matter which way it faces, it should just bring it back to you. I say that, it doesn't seem to be working. Hang on, let's take that off. Let's have another go at this. Get it in a position where I know what's going on first. Well, this is without headless mode, and without headless mode, obviously if I do that with the stick, it's going to go that way, but if I turn it that way, my stick that way is going to be the reverse because it's now facing me. Headless mode is supposedly going to change that. So if you're just going to hold position if you could, we'll try putting it in headless mode. And now we've got, we go left, we go right. A bit slow. Forward, backwards. That's good. So if we now turn it around, and yeah, it does the same thing. So left is always left, so you don't have to think about which way's right. And we can turn it sideways, and it will still try and come back towards us that way. Go sideways that way, and that is headless mode. Although it seems to fly off a bit sometimes. And that is about it. So the only thing we didn't really look at was photos. How much battery have I got left? Where does it tell me? It doesn't really tell me much about the voltage. It just tells me that it's okay. Let's go up a bit higher, because there's a nice field to look at over here. Oh, what's it saying? Low battery. Okay. There is a big looking hawk up there. I don't think he's going to check me out there. That's a shame. Anyway, we've got low battery. Let's bring this down. We'll use another battery to check this out.
Now, I've pretty much shown you everything this quad can do, but I did fly the second battery, and one interesting thing about it is I had the screen recording when it lost signal. Although this is very much just a little blip of signal loss. It's not like when the screen freezes for a long period of time and we have to do an RTH. What I was trying to do is go over and look at the interesting markings in the field many people have commented on. So I wanted to go out, have a better look at them, see if I could take some photos.
we're losing the signal again.
Now I'll leave you with the full screen of the 4K recording just to show you what it's like while I give you some of the technical details about it. It is a proper 4K recording in that the resolution is 3840 by 2160. It's encoded in H.264, has a data rate of 51.94 megabits per second on this particular video, and the FPS is 29.71, so I'm assuming it's targeting 30 frames per second there. Whether it's a true 4K sensor is anyone's guess. Normally they're not, they're scaled up. This looks, I would suggest, a little bit soft in terms of the focusing. It could be sharper. The colours look a little bit muted, and I would say sort of a little bit smeary in the distance. But you know, this is not an expensive camera. You kind of get what you pay for, and it's kind of up to you if you were looking at this quad to say, is this suitable or good enough recording for me, or isn't it? As I mentioned before, I think the electronic image stabilisation is fairly good when going in forward flight. It falls down a bit if you try stopping or turning, or you need to move the sort of manual tilt of the camera up or down. But if you're just holding steady or you're going in a straight line, I think it's fairly good. This is a photo I took in the field, and it's the same resolution as the video, 3840 by 2160, so it literally just seems to do a frame grab. You'll also get a phone recording of the video in lower quality 720p, and the photos from that phone, like this one, is also at 720p.
Well, there it is. It did what it said it would do on the box. Apart from the fact that it kind of lost signal around 200-ish meters, maybe 300. 200 kind of the safety margin. Beyond that, you're in the sort of losing the signal problem. So that was good. So much better than the previous HolyStone drone I had, because it actually worked. It flew, the controller didn't lose signal, the app kind of worked, it only crashed once, and we got recorded footage, and the stable image wasn't too bad if you were flying in a straight line. We got about 20-ish minutes out of each battery. I didn't show the full battery on the other one, but yeah, about that time. So that's all good. However, there is a problem. This type of quad, and this type of quad I refer to as a toy grade quad, and it seems to upset lots of people who have already bought them and say it's not a toy. And then they tell me to stop comparing it with DJI because that's a professional drone and you can't have it both ways. And I'm going to compare it because here's the problem. This type of toy grade quad normally comes in at maybe 100, 150 pounds. For you guys in the US and otherwise, you can pretty much translate that straight to dollars with the exchange rate as it is currently. This, and it's sold on Amazon in both the UK and the US. In the UK, it says RRP is £299. You can get it for £246. In the US, it's not available in the Amazon store at the moment, but at Walmart, it's up at $299. This is significant because normally when I say, well, of course, if you wanted to spend extra and go DJI, you'd get a lot better. But this comes in so close to a DJI model that it's not funny anymore. In the UK, you can buy the DJI Mini SE for £269. In the US, you can get it for $299. Same price you can get this from Walmart. There's a problem here because the DJI Mini SE is a small little quad. You only get one battery with it, but it will absolutely wipe the floor with this, both in terms of the picture quality, the range, the stabilization. Everything about it will be better, and that is the problem because I couldn't say to anybody, oh yeah, you should buy this over something that's much better at the same price. That's the problem. So if you're in the market for a quad costing this much, this is not the one to buy. The one to buy is the DJI Mini SE because it's better and it's about the same price. If this was like 100, 150 pounds and I could say, oh, this is fine, it's a nice beginner quad, have fun with it, but it's not, unfortunately. It's too expensive for what it is. So there you go. But that said, HolyStone supplied this, therefore they get a link in the description down below. If you want to check it out, be my guest. Otherwise, there's other quads which I'm afraid are better for the same price. What can you do? Well, at least it worked. That's a big improvement than the last time. Anyway, hope that was helpful, and I'll catch you next video. Bye for now.
Well, you've made it to the end of the video, so thanks once again for watching. If you like what you saw, then please consider subscribing, and if you really like what you saw, then be sure to check out the link to my blog for a variety of ways in which you can help support this channel.